Okay, we're doing Parshat Lech Lecha, the last Aliyah. God is still talking to Avraham. And I'm going to uphold this covenant between me and between you and between your children after you. Lidorotam, for their generations, Libris Olam, for as a covenant forever, Lios Lechal Elokim, to be for you as a God, Ulizaracha Acharecha, and for your children after you. So if you remember, we had the bris bein habatzarim last time, and also the bris milah. The natati lecha l'zaracha acharecha et eretz migurecha, and we didn't do the bris milah yet. Actually, I think that's in this coming aliyah. And I'm going to give to you and your children after you the land of your sojourns as kol eretz Canaan, the whole land of Canaan, which is going to be Israel. Lachuzat olam, as a holding forever. V'hayiti lachem lelokim, and I will be to them as their God. V'yomer Elokim el Avraham, because now he has the hay in his name, and God said to Avraham, Ve'ata es brisi tishmor, and you should guard my covenant. Atav zerecha acharecha laodorotam, you and your children after you for generations. Zos brisi asher tishmeru beinu beinechem. This is the covenant that you should guard between me and you. Ubein zarecha acharecha, and to your children after you. Himol lachem kol zachar. So here comes the bris milah. You're going to circumcise every male. Unimaltan es besar or leschem, and you should circumcise the flesh of your foreskin. V'hayal os bris beinu beinechem, and it'll be a sign of this covenant between me and between you. Uben shmonas yamim yimolachem kol zachar. At the age of 8 days old, you're going to circumcise every male l'dorotechem for all your generations. Gilid by it. Those who are born to your household, miknat kesef, and those who were bought from money, nikol benechar, even from those who are not Jewish but part of your household, asher lo mizarachahu, even if they're not from your family. Himol yimol yilid beitcha. Everyone who's born to your household should have this circumcision, umiknat kaspecha, and people who are bought by money. V'haita briti ubivsarchem, and this covenant of mine will be on your flesh, lebit olan, as a covenant forever. Va'arel zachar asher lo yimol, and the foreskin of a male that doesn't get circumcised, as besar or latov, who doesn't take off the flesh of his foreskin, v'nichritaha nefesh ahi me'ameha, and that soul will be cut off from its nation, as briti hefar, because it nullified my covenant, right? That's one of the qualifications for entering into the covenant of God's people. Vayomer Elokim el Avram, and God said to Avram, Sarai ishtecha lo tikra et shema Sarai. So we already changed Avram's name to Avraham. Now he tells Avram, your wife Sarai is not going to be called Sarai anymore, ki Sarah shema. So the yud is changed to a hey, and now she's not Sarai, she's Sarah. Ubirachti ota, and I'll bless her. And I'm also going to give you a son from her. And I will bless her. And it will be to nations, Malchei Amim, kings of nations. So this is also going to be a child that's going to produce nations. Vayipol Avram al panav, and Avram fell on his face. Yitzchak, and he laughed. Vayomer bilibo, and he said inside his heart, Halaben mea shana yivaled. Could you have a son could you have a child at age 100? And Sarah habat tishim shana teled, and Sarah's 90, she's going to have a child. Vayomer Avram el Elokim, and Avram said to God, Lu yishmael yichya lefanecha. I just hope that Yishmael will live before you. Vayomer Elokim, and God said, Aval Sarai ishtecha yoledet lecha ben. Don't put all your eggs in the Yishmael basket. Your wife Sarah is also going to have a child, a son. V'karatat shmo Yitzchak, and you should also, the name is prescribed. You call him Yitzchak. V'hakimoti et briti ito. And I'm going to uphold my covenant through him, Libris Olam, as a covenant forever, Lizaro Acharav, and his children after him, Yishmael, and for Yishmael, Hagar son Shmaticha, I heard what you asked. Hine barachti oto, I also blessed him. Vehefreiti oto v'herbeiti oto b'ma'od ma'od. He's going to prove, he's going to be fruitful and multiply very much. Shnei masar nesiim yolid, he's going to have 12 princes that come from him, and natativ l'goy gadol, and he'll be a very great nation. Right? And there's a tradition that he was the progenitor of Islam. And my covenant I will uphold with Yitzchak, asher tilid l'cha Sarah, who Sarah is going to birth for you, lamoed hazeh b'shana ha'acharet, at this time in another year. Vayichal daberito, and he finished speaking with him. Vayal Elokim el Avram, and God went up from having been with Avram. Vayikach Avram as Yishmael beno, and Avram takes his son Yishmael, v'eskol yidei beso, and everyone who was born to his household, v'eskol miknas kapo, and everyone who was bought by money, kol zachar ba'anshe beit Avram, everyone that was male in the household of Avram, vayamal et besar olatam, and they did like a group circumcision, be'etzem hayom hazeh, on that essence of that day. I think that was the same phraseology that was used about when Noach went into the Teva. We'll see it a few times. Ka'asher diber ito Elokim, just as God had spoken to him. Va'Avram ben tish'im v'tesha shana, and Avram was 99 years old, b'himolo basar olato, when he circumcised the flesh of his foreskin. V'yishmael beno, and Yishmael his son, ben shlosh esrei shana, he was 13 years old, so it was a rough bar mitzvah gift. B'himolo et basar olato, when he circumcised the flesh of his foreskin. Be'etzem hayom hazeh, on the essence of the middle of that day, nimol Avram had his bris milah, he had a circumcision, v'yishmael beno, and Yishmael his son. And everyone of his households who was born or acquired through money, from a non-Jew, were circumcised together with him.